Invaders #1 by Chip Zdarsky, art by Carlos Magno with Butch Geese. And this storyline is spinning out of what's been happening in the Avengers by Jason Aaron right now. So if you've been reading that, Namor is going to war with the surface world, and he's trying to like recruit all these other people in Atlantis for that war. And then this is also spinning out of this Defenders, the Best Defense book, which just ended recently. So if you haven't been reading that, it's not the easiest to jump into this storyline, and it's not very new reader friendly. And it's also referencing these Invaders storylines, which is like a series of Marvel stories that had to do with World War II, with Captain America and Namor and Bucky Barnes and other people. So I wasn't too familiar with that era of comics, so I was a little bit confused there as well, but there was some interesting stuff in this book. So the storyline starts off, and we're in World War II, and we see Namor there and his fellow soldiers, and we see Captain America, and then we find out that Namor had this friend, Tommy, and this Tommy died. So because of this, Namor was pretty close to this Tommy kid, and Namor kind of shuts down emotionally and becomes very cold after that and kind of a jerk. Then in the present day, we jump to Namor, and he's in Atlantis, he's in the sea, and he's at this other kingdom, and he's trying to win this people over to his side, and these people don't really want to join Namor, and Namor's like, you must. And then Namor kind of threatens them, and in the sea, Namor is somehow able to separate the water and like push it to the side, and then all of these Atlantis people, they're kind of slowly dying because they're not in the water anymore, they're on dry land because somehow the sea has parted ways. And then Namor is like, so will you join me? And of course, these people not wanting to die are like, yes, we will join you. Namor releases the water and it fills the area back again. And these people don't know how Namor did this. But finally, Namor has like recruited more people to his cause in his battle with the surface world. Now, meanwhile, we're also following Captain America, and he's talking to this guy, Jim Hammond, who is apparently the first Human Torch back in the day, and they're discussing things, and they're trying to figure out what the deal with Namor is, and they're very worried about Namor's war with the surface world. They go visit this guy, Randall Peterson, who is apparently one of their fellow soldiers from World War II. And he gives them this photograph of Namor with Charles Xavier, and we don't really know the significance of that. It might play into future issues. So then Captain America, he's talking to Tony Stark, and he's like, this Namor situation, we need to deal with it. But he's like, so Tony's like, you can do this with the Avengers, but Captain America says like, no, not with the Avengers. He needs to do this with the Invaders. So he calls Bucky Barnes, and he's like, we need to go and deal with this Namor. And this issue ends with Namor, and he's preparing for war with these undersea people. And these undersea people, they are not really trusting Namor, and they're kind of like, Namor is going mad. Namor is going crazy. What is happening with him? And that's how this issue ends. So I thought this was a pretty interesting read. I liked tidbits of where this storyline was going. I thought it was a little bit confusing and messy, a little bit too many words on certain pages, but still a lot of interesting concepts going forward. Like, I'm really interested in this Namor war with the surface world and a crazy mad Namor and him as this villain, and I want to see where that goes, and maybe some of this Charles Xavier stuff might be interesting. So yeah, I'm mixed on this issue, but I did like a lot of aspects of it. I thought the art style was interesting as well, a little bit busy sometimes, but not too bad. So I'm going to give this issue a 7.5 out of 10. And if you're invested in this Namor storyline that's been going on in Avengers, and you've been reading The Best Defense, then I would pick this one up.